I believe that the way we start our morning sets the tone for the rest of our day. And if we can transform our mornings, we can transform our entire lives. In today's message, I want to share with you 5 keys to transforming your mornings. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mornings can be tough. Waking up early, rushing to get ready, dealing with traffic or a busy schedule, IT can all feel overwhelming. But I want you to know that you are not alone. We have all been there, struggling to find a sense of balance and purpose in our mornings. But here's the good news. By listening to this message, you are taking the first step towards turning things around. You are taking control of your mornings and ultimately your life. These 5 keys that I will be sharing with you today have been tried and tested by myself and countless others, and I can guarantee that they will make a positive impact on your daily routine. By the end of this video, you will have the tools and knowledge to transform your mornings and set yourself up for success. So let's dive in and make the most out of every single day. Starting with number 5, which is transforming your mornings by focusing on self-care. Now, when we talk about self-care, many of you may think of indulging in luxurious spa treatments or taking a day off from work. While those things are certainly enjoyable, self-care goes much deeper than that. It is about taking care of ourselves, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is about making a conscious effort to prioritize our own needs and well-being. So why is self-care so crucial, especially in the mornings? Well, let me ask you this. How many of you wake up feeling refreshed, energized, and ready to conquer the day? I'm sure not many of you can say yes to that. And that is because we often neglect ourselves in the morning rush. We jump out of bed, check our phones, rush to get dressed, and head out the door without even taking a moment to breathe and focus on ourselves. But here's the thing. How we start our morning sets the tone for the entire day. If we wake up feeling stressed, rushed, and overwhelmed, that is how our day will continue. On the other hand, if we start our day with self-care, we will feel more relaxed, focused, and ready to tackle any challenges that come our way. So how can we incorporate self-care into our morning routine? Well, it all starts with the night before. A good night's sleep is crucial for our physical and mental well-being. Make sure to get at least 7-8 hours of sleep, and try to establish a consistent sleep schedule. This will help you wake up feeling refreshed and energized. Next, take a few moments to set your intentions for the next day. Write down your goals, tasks, and priorities for the day ahead. This will help you stay focused and motivated throughout the day. Now, when you wake up in the morning, resist the urge to check your phone or emails right away. Instead, take a few deep breaths and practice gratitude. Think about all the things you are grateful for in your life. This will help you start your day with a positive mindset. Next, it's time to nourish your body. Make sure to have a healthy breakfast, drink plenty of water, and maybe even do some light stretching or exercise. Taking care of our physical health is essential for our overall well-being. But self-care is not just about our physical health. It's also about our mental and emotional health. Take a few moments to do something that brings you joy, whether it's reading a book, listening to music, or practicing a hobby. This will help you start your day feeling more fulfilled and happy. And finally, before you head out the door, take a few moments to practice self-care in the form of self-affirmations. Look at yourself in the mirror and say positive affirmations such as, I am capable, I am worthy, I am enough. This will help boost your self-confidence and set a positive tone for your day. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking, I don't have time for all of this in the morning. But here's the thing, we make time for what is important to us, and taking care of ourselves should be a top priority. Remember, we cannot pour from an empty cup. We must take care of ourselves first before we can take care of others. Incorporating self-care into our morning routine may seem like a small change, but it can make a significant impact on our lives. Not only will it help us start our day feeling more relaxed and focused, but it will also improve our overall well-being in the long run. Which leads us to number 4, which is transforming your mornings by practicing gratitude. So why is gratitude so important? Let me ask you this. Have you ever woken up feeling stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed? I'm sure we all have. And what do we usually do in those situations? We start our day by checking our phones, scrolling through social media, and bombarding ourselves with even more information and distractions. But what if I told you that by simply practicing gratitude in the morning, you can change the entire course of your day? You see, gratitude is a powerful emotion that has the ability to shift our perspective and mindset. When we start our day by focusing on the things we are grateful for, we set ourselves up for a positive and productive day. It allows us to see the good in our lives, even in the midst of chaos. And that is the key to transforming our mornings. So how can we practice gratitude in the morning? It's simple. The first thing you can do is to start a gratitude journal. Every morning, before you even get out of bed, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you are grateful for. It can be as simple as having a roof over your head, a loving family, or even the fact that you woke up today. By doing this, you are setting your intentions for the day and starting off on a positive note. Another way to practice gratitude in the morning is through meditation. Take a few minutes to sit in silence and focus on all the things you are grateful for. This will not only help you to feel more centered and calm, but it will also allow you to start your day with a grateful heart. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, but Jim, my mornings are so hectic, I don't have time for all of this. And my response to that is, you don't have time not to do it. By taking just a few minutes to practice gratitude in the morning, you are setting yourself up for a more productive and fulfilling day. And let's be honest, we all have a few minutes to spare in the morning. Instead of hitting the snooze button or scrolling through social media, use that time to focus on gratitude. But it's not just about practicing gratitude in the morning. It's about making it a part of your daily routine. Throughout the day, take a moment to pause and reflect on all the things you are grateful for. It could be something as small as a kind gesture from a stranger, or something as big as a promotion at work. By constantly reminding ourselves of the good in our lives, we are training our minds to have a more positive outlook. Now, I want to challenge you all to take it a step further. Instead of just focusing on the things you are grateful for, also focus on the people you are grateful for. Take a moment to express your gratitude to someone who has had a positive impact on your life. It could be a friend, a family member, a mentor, or even a colleague. By spreading gratitude, we not only make someone else's day better, but we also strengthen our relationships and create a ripple effect of positivity. Which leads us to number 3, which is transforming your mornings by planning ahead. Planning ahead is a crucial step in achieving success in any aspect of our lives. It allows us to be intentional with our time and energy, and it sets us up for success. So let me share with you 3 key steps to planning ahead for a successful morning. The first step is to set a goal for your morning. What do you want to accomplish in the morning? Is it exercising, reading, or spending time with your loved ones? Whatever it may be, write it down and make it a priority. Setting a goal gives us a sense of direction and purpose for our mornings. It motivates us to wake up early and start our day with intention. The second step is to create a plan. Once you have your goal in mind, it's time to create a plan to achieve it. For example, if your goal is to exercise in the morning, plan out what time you will wake up, what exercises you will do, and for how long. Having a plan in place eliminates any guesswork and allows us to be more efficient with our time. The third and final step is to visualize your morning routine. Visualization is a powerful tool that helps us manifest our desires. Take a few moments before going to bed to visualize yourself waking up early, feeling energized, and accomplishing your goal for the morning. This not only sets our mind in the right direction, but also helps us wake up with a sense of purpose and motivation. Now, you may be thinking, but Jim, I am not a morning person. I struggle to wake up early. Trust me, I understand. I used to be the same way. But let me tell you, waking up early and planning ahead can transform your life. It gives you a head start on the day, and you will be amazed at how much you can accomplish in the morning when you have a plan in place. I want to share with you a quote by Benjamin Franklin. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. This quote holds so much truth. When we wake up early, we have more time to take care of ourselves, our goals, and our relationships. We have more time to invest in our personal growth, which ultimately leads to success in all areas of our lives. Now, I understand that life can be unpredictable, and there may be days where our morning routine gets disrupted, but that's okay. The key is to not let one bad morning throw off the rest of your day or week. Instead, use that opportunity to practice resilience and adaptability. Remember, success is not about being perfect every day, but rather consistently making an effort to improve and grow. Which leads us to number 2, which is transforming your mornings by getting enough sleep. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, Jim, how can sleep possibly have an impact on our mornings? Well, let me tell you, my friends, sleep is not just a state of rest for our bodies, but it is also a crucial factor in our overall well-being and success. Think about it. Have you ever woken up after a good night's sleep feeling refreshed, energized, and ready to take on the day? I'm sure you have. And on the other hand, have you ever had a night of tossing and turning only to wake up feeling groggy, irritable, and unmotivated? I'm sure we've all been there. The quality and quantity of our sleep directly affect our physical, mental, and emotional state, which ultimately impacts our productivity and success. Now, I understand that in this fast-paced world, sleep is often seen as a luxury. We are bombarded with work, responsibilities, and distractions that make it difficult to prioritize our sleep. But let me tell you, my friends, neglecting our sleep is a grave mistake. It not only affects our mornings, but also our entire day, and eventually our overall well-being. So how can we ensure that we get enough sleep and transform our mornings? The first step is to understand the importance of sleep. As I mentioned earlier, sleep is not just a state of rest, but it is a vital process that allows our bodies and minds to repair and rejuvenate. It is during sleep that our bodies heal, our memories are consolidated, and our minds process and store information. Without adequate sleep, our bodies and minds cannot function at their best. The second step is to prioritize our sleep. I know it can be tempting to stay up late to finish that last episode of your favorite show or to scroll through social media, but we must understand that our sleep is not negotiable. We must make a conscious effort to set a bedtime and stick to it. Just like we schedule our meetings and appointments, we must schedule our sleep. The third step is to create a sleep-friendly environment. Our bedroom should be a sanctuary for sleep. It should be dark, quiet, and cool. The use of electronic devices before bedtime should also be limited, as the blue light emitted from them can disrupt our sleep patterns. Instead, try reading a book or practicing relaxation techniques before bed to help you wind down. The fourth step is to establish a bedtime routine. Just like how we have a morning routine, a bedtime routine can help signal our bodies that it is time to sleep. It can include activities such as taking a warm bath, listening to calming music, or practicing gratitude. Find what works for you and stick to it. Now, I understand that changing our habits and routines can be challenging, especially when it comes to sleep. But let me tell you, my friends, the benefits of getting enough sleep are worth it. Not only will you wake up feeling refreshed and energized, but you will also have improved focus, memory, and mood. And most importantly, you will be able to start your day with a positive attitude, which we all know is the number one way to transform our mornings. Which leads us to number one, which is transforming your mornings by creating a morning routine. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. A morning routine? That sounds boring and mundane. But let me tell you, my friends, a morning routine is anything but ordinary. In fact, it is the foundation for a successful and fulfilling life. You see, how you start your day sets the tone for the rest of it. It is like laying the first brick in the construction of a building. If that brick is not in the right place, the entire structure will be off. Similarly, if you do not start your day on the right foot, the rest of it will be a struggle. So what exactly is a morning routine? It is a set of intentional and consistent actions that you take every morning to set yourself up for success. It is not just about waking up early or having a cup of coffee. It is about creating a ritual that nourishes your mind, body, and soul. It is about taking control of your day instead of letting the day control you. Now, I am not saying that you have to wake up at the crack of dawn or follow a strict schedule. Your morning routine should be tailored to your needs and preferences. The key is to be intentional and consistent with it. Let me share with you some of the benefits of having a morning routine. Firstly, it gives you a sense of purpose and direction. When you have a set of actions to follow every morning, you know exactly what you need to do to start your day off right. This eliminates any feelings of confusion or aimlessness. It also helps you to prioritize your tasks for the day, ensuring that you focus on what is truly important. Secondly, a morning routine sets the tone for a positive and productive day. How you start your day affects your mood and energy levels. By incorporating activities that bring you joy and peace, you are setting yourself up for a positive mindset and increased productivity. This, in turn, leads to a more fulfilling and successful day. Thirdly, a morning routine allows you to take care of yourself. In today's fast-paced world, we often neglect our own well-being in pursuit of success. But the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking the time to nourish your mind, body, and soul in the morning, you are setting yourself up for a healthier and happier life. Now, you may be wondering, what should I include in my morning routine? Well, that is entirely up to you. But let me give you some suggestions. Firstly, start your day with gratitude. Take a few minutes to reflect on all the things you are grateful for in your life. This will set a positive tone for the rest of your day. Secondly, incorporate some form of physical activity. It could be a quick workout, a morning walk, or even some stretching. This will not only energize your body, but also release endorphins, which will boost your mood and productivity. Next, take some time for personal development. This could be reading a book, listening to a podcast, or journaling. This will help you to feed your mind and expand your knowledge. And finally, do something that brings you joy. It could be listening to music, dancing, or simply sipping your coffee in silence. This will help you to start your day with a sense of happiness and fulfillment. Remember, your morning routine should be tailored to your needs and preferences. The key is to be intentional and consistent with it. And do not be afraid to switch things up if something is not working for you. So I urge you to create a morning routine that works for you and stick to it. I promise you, it will be the best decision you ever make. Thank you.
Let's talk about a man who one day decided to take a walk in the woods. Now, this wasn't just any walk, and these weren't just any woods. This man, let's call him Mike, had been at a crossroads in his life, much like many of us find ourselves. Mike's walk was more than a stroll. It was a quest for clarity. He had been running the same race, on the same track, day in and day out, wondering why he wasn't getting anywhere different, anything better. It's funny, isn't it? How sometimes it takes getting lost to truly find our way. So there Mike was, wandering, when suddenly he stumbled upon a clearing he'd never seen before. It was as if this clearing had been waiting for Mike patiently for him to find it when he most needed a new perspective. In that moment, standing at the edge of something new, Mike realized that the path to success, to change, wasn't about finding a new forest. It was about seeing the woods he'd been walking through with fresh eyes. That day, Mike made a decision to reset his mind for success. Now, why start with Mike's story? Because it's a lot like my own. My journey wasn't in the woods, but it involved a similar moment of realization. There was a time when I was going through the motions, living by the day's demands, reacting to life rather than directing it. I, too, needed to find my clearing in the woods, to see my world differently. Resetting your mind for success isn't about changing where you are. It's about changing how you see where you are. It's about saying to yourself, I might have taken this path 100 times, but what if today I notice what I never saw before? What if today I make a different choice? For me, the change came from a shift in perspective. I started to look at my daily routines, my habits, and my attitudes. I asked myself, what habits are serving me, and which ones are holding me back? It wasn't an overnight transformation. No, it was a series of small decisions, small resets that gradually reshaped my path. The first step in resetting your mind is to acknowledge that you have the power to change your course. It's to recognize that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you absolutely control how you respond. This realization was my clearing in the woods. It was my moment of understanding that success, growth, and happiness were not just destinations to reach, but journeys to be enjoyed and learned from. So how do you begin to reset your mind for success? Start with gratitude. Every morning, I would wake up and think of 3 things I was grateful for. It sounds simple, but this act of recognizing the good even on bad days started to change my outlook. Next, I focused on learning. I read books, listened to tapes, sought mentors. I became a student of life, hungry for knowledge, eager to apply what I learned. It's amazing how much wisdom is out there waiting for us to seek it out. And finally, I embraced discipline. Success isn't a product of what you do occasionally, but what you do consistently. Discipline became my foundation. Whether it was dedicating time to write, to plan, to reflect, or to connect with others, it was discipline that transformed my good intentions into tangible results. As we walk through today's conversation, remember Mike in the woods, and remember my journey too. We all have our forests to navigate, our paths to choose. The power to reset our minds for success lies within each decision we make. It's in the willingness to see the familiar with new eyes, to challenge ourselves to grow, to learn, and to become the architects of our own destiny. Let's take that first step together. Let's take a moment to consider the landscape of our minds. For many of us, it's like a garden that's been left untended. Weeds of doubt, fear, and procrastination have taken root, choking the life out of the dreams and ambitions we once planted with hope and enthusiasm. It's a common place to find oneself, standing in a garden, overrun with the thorns of past failures and the brambles of insecurity. These mental barriers are the culprits behind halted progress and unfulfilled potential. Now think about this. Every thought, belief, and emotion we experience is a seed that takes root in the garden of our mind. The thoughts we water, the beliefs we nurture, and the emotions we give light to will determine the landscape of our lives. It's a simple truth, yet one so easily forgotten amidst the noise and haste of daily living. Our minds, you see, are fertile ground, rich with the potential to cultivate an abundance of success and happiness. But just as a gardener must tend to their soil, planting seeds with care and diligence, so must we tend to the gardens of our minds. It begins with uprooting the weeds of negative thinking and planting in their place seeds of positivity, resilience, and determination. Consider for a moment the power of a single positive thought. A single seed, planted in fertile soil, given attention and care, it can grow into a towering tree, providing shade and shelter. Similarly, a single positive thought can grow into a mindset that shelters us from the storms of doubt and fear. But here's where many of us stumble. We scatter seeds haphazardly, allowing both positive and negative thoughts to take root without discrimination. We water the garden with our focus, often unknowingly nurturing the very thoughts that work against us. It's time to become intentional gardeners of our minds, choosing with care the seeds we plant, watering them with purpose, and basking in the sunshine of positive action. To do this, we must first clear the ground, removing the weeds of past regrets and the rocks of stubborn, limiting beliefs. It requires effort, yes, and persistence. But the rewards are boundless. A mind cleared of debris is a mind ready to grow wonders. So, how do we begin this process of mental cultivation? It starts with awareness, becoming mindful of the thoughts we entertain and the beliefs we hold. It continues with choice, the deliberate decision to foster thoughts that align with our deepest values and highest aspirations. And it is sustained by action, the daily practice of nurturing our positive thoughts into. As we move forward, let's embrace the role of diligent gardeners, tending to the landscapes of our minds with the same care and attention as we would a precious garden. Let's plant seeds of ambition, water them with perseverance, and cultivate a life of success and fulfillment. The mind's landscape is ours to shape. Let's create a garden that reflects the beauty of our highest potential, a testament to the power of intentional thought and action. Together, let's watch as our gardens and our lives flourish beyond our wildest dreams. Let's take a moment to consider the landscape of our minds. For many of us, it's like a garden that's been left untended. Weeds of doubt, fear, and procrastination have taken root, choking the life out of the dreams and ambitions we once planted with hope and enthusiasm. It's a common place to find oneself, standing in a garden overrun with the thorns of past failures and the brambles of insecurity. These mental barriers are the culprits behind halted progress and unfulfilled potential. Now think about this. Every thought, belief, and emotion we experience is a seed that takes root in the garden of our mind. The thoughts we water, the beliefs we nurture, and the emotions we give light to will determine the landscape of our lives. It's a simple truth, yet one so easily forgotten amidst the noise and haste of daily living. Our minds, you see, are fertile ground, rich with the potential to cultivate an abundance of success and happiness. But just as a gardener must tend to their soil, planting seeds with care and diligence, so must we tend to the gardens of our mind. It begins with uprooting the weeds of negative thinking and planning. In their place, seeds of positivity, resilience, and determination. Consider for a moment the power of a single positive thought, a single seed. Planted in fertile soil, given attention and care, it can grow into a towering tree, providing shade and shelter. Similarly, a single positive thought can grow into a mindset that shelters us from the storms of doubt and fear. But here's where many of us stumble. We scatter seeds haphazardly, allowing both positive and negative thoughts to take root without discrimination. We water the garden with our focus, often unknowingly nurturing the very thoughts that work against us. It's time to become intentional gardeners of our minds, choosing with care the seeds we plant, watering them with purpose, and basking in the sunshine of positive action. To do this, we must first clear the ground, removing the weeds of past regrets and the rocks of stubborn, limiting beliefs. It requires effort, yes, and persistence. But the rewards are boundless. A mind cleared of debris is a mind ready to grow wonders. So how do we begin this process of mental cultivation? It starts with awareness, becoming mindful of the thoughts we entertain and the beliefs we hold. It continues with choice, the deliberate decision to foster thoughts that align with our deepest values and highest aspirations. And it is sustained by action, the daily practice of nurturing our positive thoughts into tangible GP. In the grand tapestry of life, one principle stands as a cornerstone, the philosophy of change. It's a simple yet profound truth that the only constant in life is change itself. Yet how many of us truly embrace this notion? How many of us build our personal philosophies around the acceptance and, more importantly, the celebration of change? Developing a personal philosophy that not only accepts but also embraces growth and change. is akin to setting the sails on a ship. Without sails, the ship is merely adrift, subject to the whims of the sea. But with sails set towards change, we harness the winds of life, steering towards our desired destination. It's about recognizing that we are the captains of our ships, the architects of our destinies. Our beliefs and values, the very bedrock of our personal philosophy, shape our reality and future prospects more than we could ever imagine. Think of them as the compass by which we navigate the vast oceans of life. If our compass is fixed solely on resisting change, fearing the unknown, we circle in familiar waters, never daring to explore beyond the horizon. However, if our compass embraces change, sees it as an opportunity for growth, the whole world opens up to us. Consider for a moment the mighty oak tree. It begins as a small acorn, seemingly insignificant. Yet within that acorn lies the potential for great growth. But growth requires change, transformation. The acorn must cease to be an acorn to become the mighty oak. So it is with us. Our greatest potential is realized when we allow ourselves to embrace the changes that life brings, to grow beyond our current conflict. Yet, embracing change is not merely about acknowledging it. It's about actively seeking it out, understanding that every experience, every challenge is an opportunity to learn, to expand, to become more than we were. This doesn't mean recklessly throwing caution to the wind. Rather, it means carefully considering our path, our values, and making deliberate choices that align with our vision for the future. Our beliefs and values are not static. They evolve as we do. The key is to remain conscious of this evolution, to question, to reflect, and to adjust as necessary. It's about building a personal philosophy that is both a foundation and a sail, grounding us while propelling us forward. So how do we cultivate such a philosophy? It begins with self-awareness, with taking the time to understand our core values and beliefs. It involves setting aside moments for reflection, asking ourselves tough questions about who we are and who we want to be. It's about being honest with ourselves, recognizing our strengths and confronting our weaknesses. From this place of understanding, we then take action. We set goals that challenge us, that push us out of our comfort zones. We seek experiences that broaden our horizons, that introduce us to new ideas, new ways of thinking. We build relationships with those who inspire us, who encourage us to grow. In essence, developing a personal philosophy that embraces growth and change is about making a commitment to ourselves. It's a commitment to never stop exploring, to never stop growing, to never stop growing. It's about recognizing that the journey of self-discovery and personal development is ongoing, that there is always another layer to uncover, another lesson to learn. In the quest for success, there's one ally we all possess, but often overlook: our attitude. It's the silent partner in every endeavor, the one factor that can transform obstacles into stepping stones and failures into lessons. You see, the power of a success-oriented attitude is not just in navigating the smooth waters, but in how we sail through the storms. Let me share with you a story that perfectly illustrates this point. There was a young man named Tom who embarked on a business venture with enthusiasm and dreams as vast as the ocean. But like all voyages, his was met with storms. His first business failed, leaving him not just financially bankrupt, but emotionally depleted. Yet Tom had an unusual response to his situation. Instead of wallowing in despair, he asked himself, "What can I learn from this?" That question marked the turning point in his life. Tom's story isn't unique because he faced failure. Many of us do. It's remarkable because of his attitude towards that failure. He saw it not as a stop sign, but as a guidepost pointing him in a new direction. For each setback, he adjusted his sails, learned from his mistakes, and set out again. Today, Tom is a successful entrepreneur, not despite his failures, but because of them. His attitude transformed potential disasters into the foundations of his future success. This transformative power of a positive mindset isn't magic. It's about making a conscious choice. It's about deciding to see the opportunity in every challenge, the lesson in every setback. A success-oriented attitude doesn't ignore obstacles or pretend failures don't sting. Instead, it chooses to focus on the possibilities that each obstacle and failure presents. Consider for a moment the story of a seed. Buried in the dark soil, it faces the ultimate obstacle, a barrier of dirt above it and the darkness surrounding it. Yet within that seed lies the potential for growth. With the right amount of water and sunlight, it pushes through the soil, not around it. The obstacle becomes the path to sunlight, to growth, to life. We, too, have that potential within us. Our attitudes can be the water and sunlight we need to push through our obstacles, to grow and to thrive. Cultivating a success-oriented attitude begins with awareness. It's recognizing when we're viewing our circumstances through a lens of negativity and choosing to shift our perspective. It's about asking ourselves, what's the opportunity here? Or what can I learn from this? Even when the answers aren't immediately clear, it also requires practice. Like any skill, a positive mindset becomes stronger the more we use it. We can practice gratitude, focusing on what we have rather than what we lack. We can practice resilience, standing up one more time than we fall. We can practice optimism, trusting in our ability to navigate through storms and reach our destination. Now let's talk about something practical, something you can do starting today that will begin the process of resetting your mind for success. You see, the mind is a bit like a garden. Yes, I've spoken about this before, but it bears repeating. Just as a garden requires constant care and attention, so does the landscape of your mind if you wish to cultivate success. First up, goal setting. Now, I'm not talking about those vague someday I'll kind of goals. I mean clear, specific, written down goals. There's power in writing down what you want to achieve. It's like making a contract with yourself. It's easy to dismiss an idea floating around in your head, but once it's down on paper, it becomes real, tangible. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve this year? In the next 5 years? Make your goals as clear as possible. I want to improve my health is a good start, but I will exercise for 30 minutes. Every day turns a wish into a plan. Next, let's talk about visualization. This isn't daydreaming. It's a focused, purposeful exercise. Picture yourself achieving your goals. See it, feel it, believe it. If your goal is to give powerful presentations, visualize yourself standing confidently, speaking clearly, and receiving a round of applause. Your mind often can't tell the difference between vivid visualization and actual experience. By visualizing your success, you're priming your mind to act in ways that make that success a reality. Affirmations are another tool in our mental reset toolkit. These are positive, empowering statements that you repeat to yourself daily. They reinforce your goals and prime your mindset for success. For instance, if your goal is to become more confident in your professional life, you might affirm, I am capable, skilled, and confident. I bring value to my team and my projects. Say it with conviction, believe in the words, and you'll start to embody them. Now, none of this means anything without daily disciplines and consistent action. Goals, visualization, affirmations, they're all just the beginning. The real magic happens when you take consistent action towards your goals. Daily disciplines might not be glamorous, but they are the foundation upon which success is built. Whether it's dedicating an hour each morning to study, 15 minutes of meditation to clear your mind, or simply making your bed to start the day with a win. These actions, repeated over time, build the momentum that leads to significant change. Let me share a bit of my own story here. When I first started on my journey towards personal and professional development, I was all over the place. I had dreams, sure, but they were scattered. It wasn't until I started applying these practical steps, setting clear goals, visualizing my success, repeating affirmations, and sticking to my daily disciplines, that I began to see real change. It didn't happen overnight, but with time, the small steps added up to a big transformation. So what's the takeaway from all this? It's that resetting your mind for success is within your control. It starts with the practical steps you take every day. Set your goals, visualize your success, use affirmations to reinforce your mindset, and commit to daily disciplines. These are the tools at your disposal, ready to be used. Start small if you need to, but start today. The path to resetting your mind for success isn't a sprint. It's a marathon, one step at a time. In navigating the waters of life, it's vital to consider the role of influence and association. Think of your mind as a garden. The people we spend time with, the media we consume, are like seeds being planted in the soil of our garden. Now, if you plant weeds, don't be surprised when they take over and choke out the flowers. It's the same with our minds. Surround yourself with negativity, with people who tell you it can't be done, with media that drains your energy and inspiration, and you'll find those weeds taking root in your own mindset, stifling your growth and success. On the flip side, when you choose to surround yourself with positive influences, with people who uplift you and media that fuels your growth, you're planting flowers in that garden of your mind. These flowers will bloom, creating a landscape that's not only pleasing to the eye, but also invigorates your soul. The people around us, the books we read, the shows we watch, they all shape our worldview, our self-image, and our approach to life's challenges. Let's talk about mentors, for instance. A mentor is not just someone who teaches you directly. They can be authors of books you've never put down, speakers and videos you've replayed countless times, or even leaders of the past whose stories have inspired you. They are the gardeners who help you weed out the negative and cultivate the positive, guiding you and planting the seeds of success in your own life. I remember in my own life seeking out the wisdom of those who had walked the path before me. It wasn't just about their successes. It was their failures, their challenges, and how they overcame them that provided me with a roadmap. They didn't have all the answers, but they asked the right questions, prompting me to think, to reflect, and ultimately to grow. Now, you might be wondering, how do I find these positive influences and mentors? Start by looking around you. Who are the people that inspire you, who challenge you to be better, to think bigger? They might be closer than you think. And in today's digital age, the world is at our fingertips. Find those authors, speakers, and thought leaders who resonate with you. Dive into their books, their podcasts, their videos. Let their words and their journeys influence your own. But remember, it's not just about consumption. It's about connection. Seek out communities, both in person and online, that align with your values and your goals. These communities can provide support, encouragement, and accountability as you navigate your own journey. In the fabric of life, each of us will face moments of adversity. It's not a question of if, but when. How we respond to these moments, how we harness the power of resilience, is what truly defines us. Let me tell you a story that perfectly encapsulates this idea. A story about a young woman named Sarah. Sarah's dream was to become an athlete, not just any athlete, but an Olympian. From a young age, she dedicated herself to her sport, training tirelessly, sacrificing the ordinary pleasures of childhood for the extraordinary pursuit of her dream. However, life, as it often does, threw a curveball her way. Just as she was on the cusp of achieving her dream, an injury sidelined her, not just for the season, but potentially forever. Doctors told her the odds of competing again, let alone at an Olympic level, were slim to none. Now, this is where the story could end, with a dream deferred, a spirit broken. But Sarah, like all great characters in the stories of resilience, chose a different ending. She refused to let the opinion of others define her reality. She embraced her adversity, not as a barrier, but as a challenge to overcome. Day by day, through pain and frustration, through doubt and despair, she worked to rebuild herself. Not only did Sarah return to her sport, but she also went on to compete in the Olympics, achieving not just the dream of participation, but the honor of standing on the podium. Sarah's story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of perseverance. It's a vivid illustration of resilience, of what it means to face adversity head on and say, "This will not define me. I will overcome." You see, resilience isn't about avoiding the storms of life. It's about learning to dance in the rain, about finding a way to shine even when the skies are cloudy. It's about understanding that adversity is not an endpoint, but a part of the journey, a step on the path to achieving our dreams.
Each of us has our own story of resilience, our own moments of adversity that we faced or are currently facing. The question is not whether these moments will come, but how we will respond when they do. Will we let them defeat us, or will we, like Sarah, use them as fuel to propel us forward, to push us towards becoming the best versions of ourselves?
The key to overcoming adversity with resilience lies in our mindset. It's in believing that no obstacle is insurmountable, no dream out of reach. It's in knowing that each setback is a setup for a comeback, that every failure is a stepping stone to success. It's in understanding that resilience is not a trait we're born with, but a skill we can develop, a muscle we can strengthen with each challenge we face. So as we navigate the twists and turns of life, let's remember Sarah's story. Let's remember that within each of us lies an indomitable spirit, a wellspring of resilience waiting to be tapped. Let's face our adversities not with fear, but with courage, not with despair, but with determination. Let's embrace the power of resilience, and in doing so, transform our greatest challenges into our greatest victories. Now, let's delve into the importance of self-reflection. This is the mirror we hold up to our own souls, asking ourselves, who am I? Where am I going? What have I learned from the paths I've traveled? Self-reflection is not about dwelling on the past, but learning from it, understanding our successes and our failures, our strengths and our areas for improvement. It's through this process that we gain deeper insights into our own character. Adaptation, the ability to adjust to new conditions, to change course when the path we're on leads to a dead end, is crucial. It's about listening to the feedback life gives us, whether in the form of challenges that test our resolve or opportunities that beckon us toward new horizons. Adaptation is recognizing that the strategies that brought us success in the past may not be the ones that will carry us forward into the future. It's about being flexible, open to change, and ready to pivot when necessary. To illustrate these points, let me share a story about a tree. Yes, a tree. Imagine a tree that's grown tall and strong, its branches reaching high into the sky. This tree could have chosen to grow in one direction, straight up, but instead it branched out, exploring new directions, adapting to the sunlight, the wind, and the rain. Over time, it grew not just in size, but in beauty and strength, becoming more resilient to the storms it faced. Like this tree, our growth is multidimensional, fueled by our willingness to learn, reflect, and adapt. All these insights, all these strategies, they hinge on one essential element: a commitment to excellence. It's about setting a standard for ourselves that exceeds the ordinary, pushing beyond our perceived limits and reaching for the extraordinary. This commitment isn't a one-time declaration. It's a daily practice, a constant striving to be better today than we were yesterday. Now, I urge you, don't let this be just another conversation that fades into the background of your busy life. Let it be the spark that ignites a flame within you, a flame of desire, determination, and dedication to your personal journey of growth and excellence. Take the first step today. It doesn't have to be monumental. Success, after all, is built on a foundation of small, consistent acts. Whether it's setting a clear goal, choosing to adopt a positive outlook, dedicating time to learn something new, or simply deciding to stand back up in the face of failure, each small step is a victory in its own right. Remember, the path to excellence is not a sprint, it's a marathon. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks, but there will also be triumphs and moments of unparalleled joy. Embrace it all. Let each experience, each lesson enrich you, strengthen you, and propel you forward.